Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling, am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Man.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling, am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Man.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media,
And I'm your Riz.
and you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling, am I right?
That is correct. Do you know where we can find that?
Yes,
On the Wrestling Mayhem.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media,
And I'm your Riz.
and you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling, am I right?
That is correct. Do you know where we can find that?
Yes,
On the Wrestling Mayhem.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media,
And I'm your Riz.
and you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling, am I right?
That is correct. Do you know where we can find that?
Yes,
On the Wrestling Mayhem.
that's right.
Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast episode 756, Geeky Tuesdays. I just mashed up both intros. All right. I'm Mike Sorgatron here in the Sorgatron on the social medias in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA. Listen, I was on the roof of the convention center all day, and it's very cold, but it's going to be very cold tomorrow when we do this. Anyways, we'll touch base on what that is. But first of all, not in the Duds Cave, but in the Sword Cave is the Dudders.
Hello.
And we gave you the droopy mic, so this might be an interesting situation. All the good mic holders are at the convention center right now. So we'll be working with this. How you doing, Katie?
I'm good. Oh.
Oh, droopy. If you're on video, this is the greatest. Oh no, it fell off. No.
Oh boy.
So anyways, you're back from voting and such, right?
I voted.
Okay.
Democracy.
Democracy. Man, you know what? Out of anybody in this room, I'm glad you're the one that got that,
Thank
because
you.
that's
That
going to be
means a
the
lot
most
to me.
entertaining there. Intern Tony is off camera here. Hey, Tony. Hello. There you go. We got him in the background. But we have back with us a special guest, fresh a couple weeks off from is sojourn the word? It feels right in this case. Brian Crawford is with us.
I didn't want to come back, but what would I do without my Slice on Broadway pizza?
Oh, one of our greatest promoters of our friends at Slice on Broadway, of course. So we're going to be talking about, you had a fantastic, I saw you on social media, following your journey in Japan. Much of Japan, it looked like you hit every major city, I think, right?
From central and southern Honshu.
There you
So
go.
I didn't leave Honshu. I didn't get that. There's so much more I have to see, but I was like, I had 13 days and I wanted to maximize the trip.
Sounds like you had a pretty good start.
I did.
We're going to talk a little about that. I think we're going to talk extensively about that. So we're going to get our awesome things of the week out of the way here. Katie, are you also doing a ChatGPT tip for yours?
Yes, I am.
So I want to hear yours first. What is your awesome ChatGPT of the week, I guess?
Welcome.
If you're on audio, she is working around this microphone the most interesting and awkward of ways.
I'm very tall.
It's a good thing you're tall, yes.
Thank goodness. Hi. So my ChatGPT tip of the week is.
You're still talking to the side.
Is it? Do you have any sort of?
There you
audio?
go.
Hello, intern Tony. Can you hear me?
Oh, we'll just have Tony hold the microphone for you.
Sorry, buddy. All right. So hi, ChatGPT.
They're worst internships.
We've done them.
Yes.
Surprise! I bought a house. But beyond that.
Oh, is this the official
I
announcement?
don't know. Hello, family. Nobody knows. Nobody knows that. But I bought a house.
Congratulations.
It's okay. My mom already knows.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Yes.
My mom, your mom. That's really all that matters. But I bought a house, and so painted the house, working on the house. Needed rugs for the house because we do not have very many rugs. And it's all wood flooring. And what I did with ChatGPT was, I don't know what size rugs I need for my rooms. Got the measurements of the rooms, which weird measurements. Like our dining room was like 11 by 11 foot, 8 inches, and some very random. It's Pittsburgh house sizing. So what I did is I dropped into my ChatGPT. I was like, here is the size of my room. And what size rug do I need? And then I took it a step further because it started suggesting not just size, but shape and like as far as setting up where it should be. And so I was like, all right, let's take this a step further. I started with a photo. I'm trying to find where I started this conversation with a photo. For example, bedroom colors are like a light purple and teal, and dropped it in and said, my room is 14 foot by 11. What size rug do I need? And they're like, well, based upon this photo, and they found all the colors in the photo.
Wow.
The ideal size rug, and then asked me my bed size. So like based upon bed size, rug placement. So it gave me those suggestions, recommended rug size, color and style recommendations, like options based upon the colors, like warm grounding contrast. I would never have thought of that. The type of material, suggested styles. And so I have this really amazing painting by of Boba Fett that is essentially the reason that this room is those colors.
Pull that full screen if you can.
Ooh,
if
yeah,
you're going to show that way. Like it's very colorful. It's yeah, is it a batch?
Yeah, it's a batch.
Yeah, it's a Charlie batch.
It's very large.
Not Charlie batch. That's just,
Oh,
what Baron batch.
yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Well, we're a batch. It's at least like 5+ ish feet tall. It's amazing. And this was the centerpiece of my bedroom because I love this. And so I picked out like the teal and the purple are in the hand, and that's why those colors came about. And I was like, this is the focal point of the room. And it's like, that's an incredible focal point. Bold, high energy, and full of movement. And it tells me the colors. And it recognizes the Boba Fett artwork without me telling it. It said this is in this Boba Fett artwork. Perfect palette. So it was a color strategy. Again, rug sizes and colors. Finishing touches, like telling me what color bedding to get, curtains to get, lighting, and all those other things. And then it was like, would you like to give you some options? And I said, yes, please. And it gave me some links to various rug options. And then the follow-up question, it has a whole breakdown of what, who makes the rug, where you can get it. And it asked me if you were, do you want me to give you some suggestions under like a $200 price point that delivers to your area? And I was like, sure, let's go. And it gave me 3 best options. Again, similar things. They're all links to like Lowe's, this one, like Wayfair, various places.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you can see, I could pull up any of the rugs that I want to see if I want a better photo. It has 3 different options of where I could buy this particular rug, like Lowe's and Home Depot, and the price. The price didn't necessarily match what it was at Lowe's. It was like within like $10 or so, but it was actually cheaper at Lowe's than I thought. But yeah, it was a really neat, and again, my recommendation and other things I could add to the room. And I thought this was really neat to be able to do this, and picking paint colors for this house was a lot of fun. There's a lot of color in my house, according to my mom. But this was nice to figure out like what's the complementary rug colors to go with the wall coloring in our furniture. So I thought this was really neat. I did not expect to be able to use it this way. Like I said, I went into this asking it like what size rug I needed to buy because like I said, it was kind of a confusing room sizes, and it turned into much more, and I really liked it.
So we're gonna have to do a Dutter's Cribs in the near future once this all gets settled in, right?
Yep. It's so funny because like my bedroom's around that painting, and then my office is around the colors of traditional Boba Fett. So.
Because you do have a Boba Fett standee, I
Correct.
believe, right?
Yep.
I think the lady presides in your living room at the
Yes,
at the
currently it's in my
moment.
living room. I'll probably move the office. So yeah, he'll hang out there now.
So it's one interesting way to use ChatGPT, and I'm talking about I've been using more and more, Gemini and ChatGPT depending on like the kind of the task and how recent I get it. And this is not my awesome thing of the week, but I'll kind of relate to because I need to behavior modify myself, if that makes sense. We talk about this all the time, and Katie, it's like, okay, I've positioned this so I will use this tool more regularly in my life. And in this case, I rearranged my my home screens on different versions of your, whatever you have going on. And now I have at the bottom, make sure there's nothing embarrassing on there. So I have in the bottom here, there's buttons to go straight to ChatGPT and Gemini, and then so I'm pretty much ready to go. Also, I love putting the battery thing in your little circle widget thing. So it's definitely very helpful with between my headphones and my watch throughout the day. So that's a little side thing to my actual awesome thing. So I'm endeavoring to refocus on my dietary situation. Had some medication that did some stuff to me, and I need to course correct a little bit. So I was like, I didn't want to open up my FitnessPal chronometer. I hate logging my food and figure out which one it is and stuff. I want something very dead simple. And I'm like, I wonder if ChatGPT can do this. And not only could it do it, turns out that there is and maybe this is something to look at, but especially Katie, I know you're super organizing, and maybe you already know about this part of this. But if you go in and go to new projects in the projects folder, which I already use project folders for, like each podcast has a project folder. So if I'm talking about things, it knows context of like what I've been doing over like basically the last year of, all the transcripts for AwesomeCast, for instance, right? But in this case, if you go into this and go into your project name, they have a lot of personal things like investing, homework, writing, health, and travel. And health is what I picked up. So it's going to all, modify that. And so I just have a running tab and I'm like, hey, I had, even today I said, hey, I had the same thing at Dunkin' as I did yesterday, but I also had a donut, and it already knows what I had yesterday and adds that to my list for the day. So I just do a running tab of like, hey, I just had like a couple of slices of pizza because we have a slice on Broadway here. Hey, I just had this. I have this drink, and it lets me know where this is. Hey, I weigh this much. I'm this tall. What should I be doing to try to do, based on certain goals? And it's going to, let me know what that is. And it knows almost everything. Now, I've been going to kind of like mostly kind of chain restaurants over the last like 2 days just because I've been on the move. But it did know things like, I got this like quinoa bowl I get from Aldi's that I eat, and things like that, the Southwest chicken thing. It knows that kind of stuff, or at least relatively close enough or closest to it. But also, like, presumably if I'm like, actually it's about this calories and not this, it's going to learn that and remember that, right? So that's been really handy because I don't need... And I need like the lowest barrier of entry each. I don't want to like sit there and like I'm doing my finances at Eaton Park, trying to figure out, okay, what is this and this? Oh, it's not this, but is it this? Okay, I guess it's kind of like this, and you're making like concessions to put it into the system that was structured. And this is obviously going out and, if you're at Eaton Park, it's going to look up the dietary information at Eaton Park, or, hey, most things of that are this nature. And I can say, no, more this, less this, and it's mostly common language and has that running thing for it. I'm really excited. I'm 2 days in. I'm really excited to see what I'm going to be on the run. We're doing a conference tomorrow. Who knows what I'm going to end up doing, But at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, hey, for lunch I had this, and for breakfast I grabbed this, and for dinner I grabbed this because I was on the run. And I can just just tell it, talk to it, and then it's going to spit out everything that, okay, how much damage did you do today while you're on the road? And it's going to help me kind of have more awareness of what's going on there. So that was a really, really cool use for this. So look that up, and I'm kind of interested in... I want to kind of throw logistics at it when we start traveling again for SAE, for instance, because I was talking today about like I was kind of excited and scared about how we've been, I get to do logistics for bringing 8 people to an event in Michigan that work for us and try to figure out how to, organize that and give people responsibilities and stuff to make sure everything goes smoothly. I'm wondering if I throw a lot of that info at ChatGPT, will I have a better plan, of action for things like that? So that's what I'm kind of looking at there. And still just throwing so many things at Gemini these days. Like, hey, what is this? Is this true? Is this factual? Can you fact check this? It's been super helpful for that. And again, when you have a line and you want to really be like, hey, is that right? Like, follow the link by it. And they've been really good about including links by it. If they don't, say, hey, cite your source on that, and do that kind of second step on that, especially when we talk about informational and definitely stuff that is prone to misinformation and interpretation. So, and it seems to be pretty good about that kind of thing. So, but yeah, that's kind of my ChatGPT update for this week. So very very AI based. So, which is appropriate since we're at an AI and robotics conference this week. We talk about AI and robotics demo day will be at the David Lawrence Convention Center. That is Wednesday, the November 5th. It is free if you're catching this on Tuesday night or mid Wednesday. It is free for you to attend, and the main stage, we are actually going to be there. I'm going to be on the roof helping with SKA Robotics, not SKA. I double checked that. And they are going to be streaming some stuff about they're doing. Actually did a demo today. We did a test run today. It's going. They have a drone that they've trained on AI to detect rust on bridges, and it like kind of shows it, like does a little glow to it and stuff that for the detection. That was very cool. I'm definitely going to be share those links on AwesomeCast when those go out tomorrow. And just so much cool stuff. There's a Formula car there, by the way, from our friends at the University of Pittsburgh, having one of their electric Formula cars there on display, already got rolled in. There's a dragon that I can't wait to find what it's about. So a lot of really cool stuff there. So I kind of wish I wasn't working because I'd go hang out. Because it looks like a lot of fun. It's like a playground, and it's just people just like rolling their stuff in today, right? So, and Katie's going to be hanging out with us too, helping out.
I am, and if you're attending, you could actually talk to Pete Utters, which is my brother.
Yes,
yeah, my brother Patrick is presenting. He's one of the researchers over at Penn State for their AI. And he's doing a presentation. I
believe it was part of the Global Impact Conference.
Correct.
I saw the signs for it. I think I sent you this because it's doing like both things are happening concurrently, you know, kind of hand in hand. I think Mark Cuban's going to be there. Like some other big wigs are going to be there. NVIDIA sponsors part of this thing. So like it's pretty crazy. One of the most exciting things I've seen, you know, since like 15 years ago in the entrepreneurial startup space here in Pittsburgh, right? So it's really cool. And a lot of people are going from out of town and stuff, kind of showing stuff off. So it's a really cool thing. All right. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Partner. Which one are you going to try tomorrow? I didn't see when your chat came in. Probably not the home decorating. I bet it's the health thing. So anyways, thank you to our friends on patreon.com/awesomecast supporting this show here, including our manager right here in the studio. Thank you, Brian, in person for supporting us here on the Patreon, as well as Cynthia Klosky, John DeGore, and Dave Ponder, who's in the chat room hanging out. Dave has been traded to the Wrestling Mayhem show this evening. So for a, what did he say? For a draft pick, a future draft pick to be determined, right? Yep. So, I keep going to the wrestling. Sorry about that. It's still running in the background. But anyways, thank you guys so much for supporting us. We try to put some extra content. We have the Sorgatron Media Patreon feed, so you see what's going on all night. No Patreon extras. We actually have a truncated night because we have a busy early day tomorrow that we have to get in there 7 a.m. to make sure everything's running for the live streams. So we're going to be shortening things. Well, you're not going to notice on the AwesomeCast, but the Wrestling Mayhem show is definitely going to notice tonight that we have a much shorter show, potentially, I hope. You know how those goes. Well, anyways, let's toss it to our buddy Chachi and find out what's going on in the video game world.
Hey kids, welcome back to the Chachi Says Video Game Minute. Here's as much video game news that I can cover in about a minute. And apparently it's adaptation week here at Chachi Says Video Game Minute. Backyard Baseball is getting a 2D animated special. Pablo Sanchez and friends will star in an animated special teaming up to release at Dave & Buster's and the Backyard Sports YouTube page. Tiffany Haddish is signed on to voice a character, so this is probably just a test balloon to see how well Backyard Sports does as a cartoon. More to come. Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan has one more project to complete before his deal with Paramount comes to a close, and apparently it's a Call of Duty movie. Co-written by Sheridan and director Peter Berg of Friday Night Lights, it's apparent that Activision is looking to expand the Call of Duty empire by backing it with some proven talent. Call of Duty is a license to print money, so we shall see what happens there. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Chachi Says Video Game Minute. We'll see you next time.
But what about Godzilla? Sorry. If you're live, we got distracted by Godzilla and let that go a little long. Anyways, we do have Brian Crawford here and is fresh from a Japan trip. I guess, first of all, why Japan other than the obvious reasons?
Oh, gosh. So, I've been thinking about this, actually, because it's kind of an interesting development where, people late Gen X and early millennials just have this real big fascination with Japan. And, and I realized, it all started because that's when anime started creeping in. And, American cartoons, which a lot of them were great, but, they had that, gotta protect the kids mentality. And Japanese anime, they didn't care. They're cutting people's heads off, everything else. And it was always late at night, so it seemed cool because you're staying up late. It was way more edgy. And I think that sparked a lot of people's interest. And I was very fortunate in my high school. They had Japanese language classes, so I took Japanese for 4 years in high school. So that really continued my interest. And I've always just had a really big interest in Japanese culture, and it was a lifelong goal of mine to go to Japan, and I didn't expect it to happen this quickly. And I also was surprised how affordable of a vacation it was. It was probably the most affordable vacation I've ever gone on.
Did you go on a kind of a package deal or planned out, or did you ask ChatGPT how to do it?
So I actually did use ChatGPT a lot.
Oh, really?
It's funny listening to your guys' conversations. I'm very much a lot of my.
So continue the ChatGPT tips this week.
Yeah. So I used it with figuring out one thing ChatGPT does better than a regular Google search is it provides context. So,
yes.
I would try to find out how to get to different places, and on Google Maps, it was saying it was going to take so long, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. But it didn't factor in certain aspects of transit, and if you get the Japanese rail pass, for instance, it doesn't include the fastest Shinkansens, so you can't factor that into your timing. So you have to make that consideration. And ChatGPT was great at working through that kind of stuff where say I would have bought the Japanese rail pass and I thought I was going to make it to Osaka in under 2 hours. And that wouldn't have happened. And that could have been a disappointment on the trip because
and broken up your day and your plans, right?
Right. Yeah. So, but ChatGPT that made me aware of that. So different things like that helped a lot. Just a lot of the transit planning, which Japanese transit is incredible as well. Let me rephrase that. A lot of Japanese transit is incredible. Not so great in some of the smaller areas, believe it or not. But when you're in Tokyo and Osaka and the bullet train system, the Shinkansen, that's all incredible.
Well, it's kind of this. I mean, and it's probably really, really good when it's good, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's you go into bigger cities, they're going to have better systems,
right?
Usually than for us, we have, for all of its problems, we have a better transit system in Pittsburgh than we do in Beaver County. Right?
Right.
I imagine something like that.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the size and the culture and the thought process, and also some of it has to do with historic preservation. You go to Kyoto, for instance. In Kyoto, everything you want to see is kind of spread apart, but none of it's easy to get to. The transit system is not very great in Kyoto, and you have to take the bus, and it sits in traffic. There's no bus lanes, and I get they don't want to put in trains because they don't want to risk damaging any of the shrines and temples and things like that, because Kyoto was the capital for over 1,000 years in Japan, so it has all of this history. It was spared from the majority of the bombings during World War II, so a lot of historic stuff is still standing. But I'm throw some paint on the ground and make it a bus lane, and then you don't have to worry about trains, but they don't have that. So it took a while to get to places versus Tokyo. Everywhere you go, you're 10 minutes away from a train station, and the trains come often they come every 3 minutes.
Wow.
And
but there's so many people there too, right?
Yeah, that metro area is 40 million people, so it's 4 times the size of New York City.
And are the trains usually full-ish, or
you ever see those videos of the pushers where there's these videos back in the day with the Tokyo Metro, they had people who were paid employees that pushed people to get the doors to shut because they were so full. I never saw any pushers, but there were people pushing themselves into the train at times, and very rarely was it not standing room only in there, and often kind of making yourself as thin as possible to stay on the train. But what's wild about it, And my gosh, that was actually part of like one of the things I was going to talk about. Where was the rail system is it's so well organized. And it's interesting because Japan is like this world of like high tech and super old school, and the transit system in some ways is a bit of both, where it's so efficient, but it's often so efficient because it's old school. So like in the US, for instance, you go downtown and you have we have 3 lines, the red line in Pittsburgh, silver line, and blue line, and they all use a lot of the same tracks, where a lot of railways in Japan, they force you to walk. So because of that, they're able to keep things efficient, because when you have so many moving parts, that's so many more things that can break, which causes delays. Whereas if you just like make people walk a little bit, then you don't have as many fancy switches, but you also have the train keeps coming, and there's no waiting, and they're able to keep things flowing.
It's not like when I'm like, see a bus go past my student, I'm like, oh, train's down today.
Right. Or like the fact, it was so funny. I was waiting for Shinkansen, and they were talking about this one train that was coming 10 minutes late, and you would have thought it was a national emergency with the amount of announcements. Meanwhile, the T has been announcing 20-minute delays for the last 5 years.
Yeah. And I want to point out, this is not stock footage. This is your actual footage you took here in Japan of the trains, if you're on video with us. Yeah,
all different types are on there. There's metro, like heavy rail trains. There's previously you saw an old streetcar that was at Hiroshima. It's actually not that old, but it's designed to look old. They do still have in Hiroshima a few streetcars that actually survived the atomic bomb blast and are still running to this day. So that's
a freaking testament, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was one interesting thing. After that happened, they were able to actually get the streetcars up and running relatively quickly after that bomb. So it's a really cool part of their culture. But the streetcar runs through the town. But when you go to board the train, what's really interesting is so we have all these people, and it's really smooth. So like, say this was the doorway for the train. They actually have lines on the floor, and the wayfinding in these stations are incredible. Like if you've ever been to Penn Station, each one of these stations is significantly larger, way more complicated, and way busier than Penn Station. Like, to give you an example, Penn Station in a day has around 600,000 people that go through it, which is about twice the population of Pittsburgh. In Shinjuku or Shibuya, they have over 4 million people that come through the station a day. So it's like the entire population of like Los Angeles coming through your train station. And it's and it flows so well. So if like this, like say for example, if you had your main door, on each side you have a line that's drawn, and then there's a second line for like overflow. So the whole entire front of the door is open, and when the train stops, you kind of step up onto the yellow line. Everybody leaves, and you're in position immediately to come on the train as soon as the last person is off. So you don't have any of that, people running into each other. You don't have any delays. People are already in position to just walk on, and they're so efficient in terms of timing. Like even the Shinkansen, the Limited Express, the Metro. So like with the Shinkansen and the Limited Express and some of the long range trains, you can reserve seats for those. And they're so precise. I had to make a transfer going from Kinosaki Onsen to Kyoto, and I literally had a 1-minute transfer window. So you could schedule your seat, but they schedule the car, and you're supposed to get your luggage down and get ready to leave before the train stops. And they had positioned it so I was the same car on each train, and all I literally did is walk across the platform and jump onto the other train.
Because they planned it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's so efficient that they can schedule things down to a minute or less to allow you to catch your train. And these are long distance trains. These are going to like different like climate places, and that's how efficient and that's how precise these rail networks are.
Knowing the pain of switching trains at like Philadelphia's train station, Amtrak station, like that's incredible. And then everybody's yelling at you why you don't know where you're supposed to go, and it's like, no, please tell me, stop yelling at me.
Right. And that's one thing, like they don't really need to yell at people. Like you get onto the Pittsburgh Amtrak, and there's literally somebody who's paid to just stand there and scream at people to go stand in a certain area. Yeah.
You're just like, what is this?
Whereas there, the wayfinding is incredible, and it's all like simple low-tech stuff that it just works. Like if you're in Tokyo Station and the train you're going to, and each train has like a color and a letter. It's actually like a Roman letter, so it's easy to, for if you're, not from Japan, it's easy to know what it is. And in Tokyo Station, they actually have lines painted on the floor, and if you just follow the line, you'll end up at your train.
Oh, jeez.
In all of the roads throughout, all of the walkways through the train stations, and all of the sidewalks have like slots in it for people with visual impairments to be able to use their sticks to find their way.
Jeez.
I mean, it's just so well done, and everything's in Japanese and English. So even if you don't know Japanese, the audio announcements are in both languages. So I brought a couple fun things. Well, first off, before I get into this, I wanted to gift the studio a Manaki Neko, which is supposed to bring you good luck. It's a beckoning cat. So if you notice this cat, it's doing this because in Japan, this actually means come. It's not this. So
for those on audio, so it's like you, your hand is upside down doing the motion.
Right, almost like in us we would be like shooing away. Here, that's actually you're telling someone to come closer.
Okay.
So that's why it's translates to like a beckoning cat, and it's supposed to give you good luck. So that's for this
Excellent.
studio.
Thank you.
Sure. I brought these. They're called IC cards, and they're transit cards. This is the ICOCA. This is Japan JR West Rail. This is Suica, which is JR East. They have what's called I don't know what it's called. They have a thing set up where if you buy one, you can use it basically anywhere in the country for the most part. So I only bought this one just because I collect transit cards as a souvenir, but I didn't need it. I bought this in Tokyo, and I could use this in Osaka and most places I went. And in Japan, all of the transit companies, for the most part, are private companies. It's almost like the old streetcar era here in the U.S.
I love the little mascot for the ICOCA one you got.
Yes.
There. Like I had to look that up because I wanted to make sure we got a good shot of that little duck guy, little blue duck guy on this.
So Suica also has one too. I accidentally got the Welcome Suica card, which is for tourists. I wanted to get the original one, but once you buy it, you can't get your money back. So I just stuck with it. But they have their own little mascot as well. But these cards since they're all private companies, they all agree for the most part to work with these cards, these IC cards.
And also, all these sites are in freaking English, like right off the bat. I could very easily navigate and figure this out.
Even the ticket machines, you can switch languages there. Same with the ATMs.
It's a very bilingual country, right? So that's not a big deal.
What's that?
It's actually a fairly bilingual country, right? So
no, actually, no. You go to a lot of places. Once you're outside of like the major cities,
sure.
A lot of times you don't. And I'm talking like even like mid-sized cities, like Kanazawa's got 400,000 people in it, and that was probably the least English-speaking place I was in Japan. But yeah, a lot of people don't speak Japanese there. But the people that you need to talk to, like the people at the front desk of the hotels, or like if you're in like a touristy restaurant, there'll be people that can speak English, or they'll have it where you can order on a screen and switch that to English. But like you go to like a lot of like small local places, they don't speak English actually. But these cards, what's great about them is it's just straight dollar value on it because it's all different transit agencies, so they don't have like a pass like we can get here because it's all different companies. But you can actually use these cards on like most vending machines. So you just swipe, like just tap the card for a vending machine. And you can also use them at convenience stores and sometimes even restaurants.
And I see Apple Pay is at least on the duck one. And
yes.
As we have on screen now, a partner says that you almost look like Psyduck.
like what duck?
Like Psyduck from Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
It does, yeah. That's cool. But they're so nice. But like I said, they're not. It's either in the future or they're in the past. And when I was in Kanazawa, and this is like one of my favorite stories, is I jump on this bus and I'm leaving the train station and I tap the IC card. I sit down and I see other people going on. They grab a ticket, but a lot of times you could pay for something like multiple ways. Like the rail passes, like they have actual physical paper that you stick through a machine, almost like almost like the MTA Metro card kind of a feel. It's not quite the same, but it's kind of a similar feel. But most of the metro in every city I'd been, you could use these IC cards. But I'm in Kanazawa. I see everybody else grabbing these little slips, and I just tap the IC card, and I sit down, and all of a sudden I see over the screen on the bus this bus does not accept IC cards. So now I'm
Oh.
panicking because I'm like, what do? I don't have one of these little tickets, and I didn't know if you have to click a button. You don't have to click one. I know that now, but I didn't know at the time. And like this older gentleman like could tell that I was panicked, and like he doesn't speak any English. I speak some Japanese, but like not enough for like conversational Japanese. Like I can ask for help, I can do some things, but not like a back and forth complicated like like I don't know what I'm doing conversation. So luckily, like I was able to get a few things with Google Translate. But he was older, so like he wasn't like the best with Google Translate. But somehow we were able to work it out. And he was basically like, I showed him where I was going. He basically was like, I'm going there too. I'll let the driver know. So he gets off and he helps me, and he's like, do you want to go for a drink? So I was like, well, yeah, because that's why I was going to that neighborhood, is I wanted to get a drink.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to go somewhere that was like real and not just like, oh, here's like the place for the foreigners. So
I'm not going to McDonald's Japan.
I did not go to a McDonald's, in Japan.
So you kind of got to do. We did the one in Thailand, and
Yeah.
it like just to do one to be like, because the menu's different,
Right.
Like I think that's fascinating.
It is, and the thing is like I kind of peeked into some of the McDonald's, and they weren't as diverse as some of like the things I've heard in the past in Japan. So I was just kind of, I'm not going to go in and get a burger. Even
You gave it a shot. That's fine.
Yeah, even if it was slightly different, but like I know sometimes they do have a lot of different stuff in Japan, but like maybe it was just the time I was there, and I didn't like go in and like examine the menu, so maybe there was, but like I kind of gave it a peek as I walked by, and I'm like, nah. So if they had something really interesting, I might have gone in, but I'm on this bus and he helps me get off, and he's like, do you want to get a drink? I'm like, yeah. So he takes me in to like this office building, and he's like, we're going to go here. And again, I'm very simplifying things because he didn't speak English. So there was a lot of back and forth to figure some stuff out. But he's like, I'm going here. And he points to like the 6th floor. And this guy was like a little like off. So like all of a sudden now like some hair starts like going up like on my back, and I'm like, oh god, where's he taking me? What kind of place is
you're
this?
you're the obvious foreigner, and somebody's like, come to this place, and we're
Right,
like,
and it's
listen,
the 6th floor of a building.
again, like I've seen some sketchy things in Thailand. I'm like, I don't think we should go in there.
Right. Well, because I had the translate, I found out what it was. I
Okay.
Googled it. It was a real bar. So I'm like, all right, well, let's go. So we go up there, and it was awesome. Everybody there was like interested in talking to me. Like I was the only foreigner because it's the 6th floor of an office building. Like nobody knows it's there. There's like no sign out there. So like the owners are coming up and talk to me. Like people gave me their business cards. I was getting a drink called a highball because it's like a lower alcohol content, because I was trying not to get too lit, and
Trying to get completely sloshed in a foreign country.
right, and they were making it hard because they kept, well, first off, they wouldn't let it go more than a half full, and like nobody asked me, do you want another? She just keeps refilling it. And then they're like, do you like sake? And I was like, yeah. So they wanted me to try this local sake, so now I'm drinking sake, and then they're having me try this Chinese whiskey that they love. And it was so great. And then they pulled out the karaoke, and they wanted me to sing karaoke. And then they wanted, like, they were trying to get me to sing a song in Japanese. And so they said, like, how about the One Piece song? So I said, sure. I said, but not only if you sing it with me. And it was like the one woman I was talking to. So she agreed, because I'm like, I don't even sing like songs in US if I haven't like looked at it, So I sang the We Are song from One Piece in Japanese in a bar. And then they sang an English song with me that they picked. And it was just such a cool experience. But like, I wouldn't have experienced it if I didn't know what I was doing on that bus. And they picked up my tab, so I didn't even I was worried about what I was going to owe for all these drinks, and yeah, it was awesome.
So I see that you got to witness something that we've talked about several times on this show. The cat billboard, the 3D billboard. There's some footage here from this, and that has to. How does that look? That's got to look pretty incredible in person.
It was really, really neat in person. Yeah, I was excited to see that. Apparently there was one in Osaka that was like I think a dog that I missed, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it does do advertisements as well, so it cycles through between the cat and different advertisements, and the cat is just like a lot of fun, and everybody's standing there like to look at this cat. It's like a big crowd there. And what's really cool about this neighborhood is, so this is in a neighborhood in the Shinjuku district, and so you've got like Shibuya, Crossing, which is like that really famous crosswalk, which is it's not in Shinjuku, it's like the next neighborhood down. And that one is like a lot of like luxury stores, and it has like more of a Times Square feel, like with different billboards and stuff. Whereas this has way more signs and neon, but it is it is nothing like Times Square because it is all like local businesses. So like all these neon signs. So here's one picture from Shinjuku. I'm wearing the shirt I am now.
Hey.
And if you look here,
Look at that. Yinzilla's Inception right there.
right? If you look here, I don't know.
Oh no.
I'm trying to do this backwards, and so if you look up here, you'll see there's a Godzilla in the
up there in the
background
background.
on the building.
Yes.
And that's a movie theater actually, and there's a Godzilla hotel there.
Fantastic.
And
I think we've seen those on our stories too. Yes.
Yeah, but the Godzilla there apparently since it's a movie theater, apparently sometimes they'll design the movie posters to look like it's like whatever it is fighting Godzilla or running from Godzilla.
I love it.
But like you'll see just like in Shinjuku, like here's just like one image of it, and every street you go down, every alley is just full of neon signs like that. But they're all like businesses. Like those are not advertisements for like, you know, Adidas or something. Like it's actually like, oh no, this is somebody's sushi restaurant, or this is the karaoke place.
It seems like when you go to like Chinatown, and like I've been to Chinatown, like Philadelphia or something like that, like it looks like a smaller version of that, but they're all mom and pop stores. So like it's actually reflective of what that looks like, right?
Yeah, it is. It's all authentic, and that's where people like who actually live there go for like nightlife, like you know, after work and things like that.
So tell me about these squids.
Yes. Okay.
What is the deal with these squids?
So this is so cool. So this is in one of the most interesting things, interesting places I was at in my whole trip. That was from an art museum called Team Labs Borderless, and Team Labs is the group that organizes Borderless. They have several different places. And it's an immersive art experience that uses digital art, so a lot of projections, but they also have props as well that sometimes interact with them. In that one in particular, that whole room was like you're in a fish tank, and it was like on all sides of you, but all the fish looked like that. They all look kind of like cartoon characters, and I thought that was like weird. And there was a line to the side, so I'm like, oh, what the heck? I'll stand in this line. I will stand in the line, and here what you're doing is you actually draw. They give you a piece of paper, and you color with crayon your image, and then they scan it into the art display. So all of the fish that are surrounding you were people who were there that day.
Oh wow! So you got the comparison here. So
Yeah.
this is that guy's in there, and that's you.
Right.
Okay.
So it was just like so cool. Not in Team Labs, the Borderless was so amazing. I mean, it was honestly, it's like a life-changing art experience. And I wouldn't even call it an exhibit. It's an experience because there is no map. You walk into this place once you get into the entrance, and you just wander through the place into different rooms, and there's no map, and sometimes it changes. The room, once you were in it, you go back and it changes, and there are rooms inside of rooms at times. Like there are times I went back into rooms and found rooms I didn't see before.
Sounds like a wild like Meow Wolf kind of thing.
That's what Missy
right?
was telling me
Okay,
about.
alright.
Yeah, I haven't been there, but it sounds similar. But this place, it was just every bit of it is immersive, and just like that was like not realistic looking because obviously it was like cartoon drawings of fish, but like some of it is like, and it feels like you're on different planets. One of them, you walk into this room and you see all these thin like sticks that are going up to what looks like petals. It almost looks like you're in like the weeds, and the floor goes up on an angle, and there's no like straight way you can walk up, but they have like mirrors on the side to make it look like it's goes much further. And then when you get up towards the top of the hill, it narrows and it directs you to follow like a path, and then all of a sudden you see a few of those petals on the floor, and then you come out into a clearing, and now all of a sudden they're all at your waist. So you have the tall ones behind you, and then they're at your waist, and they have the mirrors to make it look like it's fields that are like going for miles, and you literally then walk down a hill through different paths. There's different paths you could take where they're all waist height, and they're brushing up against you. It's like as if you're walking through a meadow. And that's just like one example of like this like experience. Another one was these orbs that are moving around in bubbles, and there was one where you have all these spikes coming down, and the lights are hitting the spikes, and there's mirrors on the floor, on the ceiling, and on the side, so it looks like it's a huge cavern going up and below you. And at one point they made it where it looked like rain, and it looked like these huge drops of rain coming on you. You would have thought you were soaked just by looking at it. And again, like, you don't know, there's no direction, so you're just literally stumbling around through the place. And I think that was part of what made it so amazing, was like it was really an exploration. It was, you were exploring the place, you weren't walking through it. And one of the signs that was kind of became my mantra throughout the rest of the trip, because there's so much to see and you can't do it all. One of the things, whenever you leave the place, as you're leaving, it has on the wall a quote. It says, to see one thing is, or to see something is to not see another thing, or something to that effect. And it was just like, you have to make decisions and choices in life. You can't do everything. And it was, it kind of brings you some peace, because you want to see so much. And, instead of being disappointed, you think, well, I didn't see this, but I saw this. And it just, helps shape your perspective. But I mean, that is definitely borderless to a T, because you have no idea if you saw it all. Like, I have no idea. There's probably rooms in there that I didn't even experience.
And especially as they changed, so you don't know, like, did I miss one coming through or something like that?
Right.
Man, you love those, because they're just like, am I now you're like kind of FOMO'd the thing that you just experienced.
Right. And I was there for hours. I mean,
Yeah,
I was in that place for hours, and I missed, I know I missed some things.
That's amazing.
So Borderless was great. I also, one thing I wanted to mention as far as this show, because I thought it was, the tech show, is Avatar. It's what's it called? Dawn Avatar Robot Cafe, which I don't know if you've seen any of that. I've seen some videos, and I was like, it was high on the list of things I wanted to go see. And basically, you go to a cafe where most of your servers are robots, but they're robots that are actually controlled by people with mobility issues. Yeah. And they get paid a full salary, same as the people who were there in person. And they come and they'll like, so like a robot was, or a person controlling a robot was the person who took my, I don't want to call it a reservation because I just walked in, but it took my, put me down to get a table. And then a robot brought me my beer, and then also they put up a like you see right there, they put up a person where you actually get to talk to them. So I spoke with someone from Osaka while I was in Tokyo, and she was in Osaka, and we had a conversation through the robot at that place, and it was really a cool experience. So that was neat to see.
This actually goes along with something, because there was like a pontification of one of the companies is talking about having a maid robot of sort that like just goes and cleans your house during the day. And they're like, well, the AI is not anywhere near this. So in the meantime, we're just going to have somebody is hired and controls the robot, which is a whole new set of privacy concerns, because you're just like, somebody's controlling a robot in your house while you're gone to take care of your personal chores.
I've seen that. Yeah. I saw that, and I'm like, first off, that's a horrible idea. And like, secondly, even if when it does work and it is true AI, I'm like, how many sci-fi movies do they have to make about the robots being treated as servants and uprising against us?
Yeah. It's just like, I need some, I need to lock it up during the day or something, right? So
exactly.
But yeah, no, that's incredible. That's very cool. So, and I think that's it's. A lot of this I feel comes from like there's a different sense of community there than I feel like we have here. The more that I learn about that, there's a thing going around about they've installed heated benches so the homeless don't freeze. Things like
benches?
that.
I couldn't even find any benches.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a fake meme that's going around.
Maybe it's in the parks.
Maybe it's in the parks or something. But like stuff like that.
Because there were a lot of times I was like, just like wanting to figure out where to eat, because like I can speak some things I can't really. I ignored when I started like trying to relearn the language some. I ignored the written part because they have 3 alphabets, and one of them is kanji, which is based on it was taken from China, and that's like the where it's like very complicated characters. And I'm like, I know I'm not going to learn this. I've got Google Translate. I'm not going to try. So like when I was trying to figure out somewhere to eat, since I can't read Japanese, I was wanting to use the phone. And there were a lot of times like I just wanted to like sit down somewhere to just play on the phone for a few minutes. And there was like I could never find anywhere to sit anywhere.
They keeping everybody moving, right?
Right. And they have, especially in Tokyo, you have to. I mean, Tokyo is just so intense.
How did that? Obviously you know a little bit, but how much did you get to use the tools, like the phone tools, like your Translate and things like that? Was that helpful along the trip?
It was really crucial to the trip in terms of the ease. I mean, I had planned to use Google Translate a lot to read, and it works so well when you're in that environment. Like I've used it here before actually to help people on the T. With directions and things like that. I've used it a few times actually.
Like other foreigners coming in or something?
Yeah, one woman asked for help downtown and she spoke Spanish, and another woman, it was kind of funny because she, just a cool situation. She had thrown her groceries down in front of the door, and she had walked up though through the bottom door, so she might not have realized that door needed to open, and they wanted her to move the groceries, and she just kept saying Arabic. So like I pulled out Google Translate and I jumped in and let her know, and she's like and then her kids were moving the groceries for her. So I've used it a lot here actually. Just
and
on
how
transit.
many people most people take Spanish in high school, right?
Right.
What are the chances she's going to run into somebody that knows Arabic? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I feel like that's like I love the opening up that these tools are giving us for things like that to communicate.
And it was really helpful for me, like because I went to a museum in Kinosaki Onsen, which onsen is like a hot springs. So I went to a hot springs town, which let me say was awesome. Like I spent 2 days there. I had a yukata, which like the yukata is like an informal kimono, and you just walked from like hot spring to hot spring and ate and played games, and it was really. I'm just pulling up a picture of the kimono here. Here's me in the kimono looking out over the town.
Yes.
But it was awesome.
Why is that not your profile picture?
It is.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
I hadn't noticed.
So, but yeah, I went to a museum there, and like the guy when I went in, it was like part of their library. He's like basically only in Japanese, and I'm like, no problem. Pulled out Google Translate. I went through the whole museum. I read everything. I mean, it's instantaneous. It is so quick to when you scan the images, and you can actually click to take a picture, like a take a picture button. It doesn't necessarily save it to your reel, but it'll freeze it, so then you don't have to stand there while it's moving around, and you could just read it like this.
Amazing.
It works so well. But like me, because I took that Japanese in high school, I know how things are pronounced. Like I know what their like characters are, even if I don't remember them all to read them. I know how they're all supposed to sound. So like it was really helpful with me at Google Translate, where I didn't have to show people it. I could actually read the word and then speak it to them, and because I knew how to speak the language like the proper way, they could understand what I was saying. Because like karaoke is not how you would say that's karaoke, but like a foreigner doesn't know that. Like Toyota is Toyota.
So we're towards the end of our time here today.
Yeah.
So I just want to. Can you give me one or two, and Katie, if you have any other things to close out on that you want to ask them on the way out here. But I think the best thing is do you have one or two like big tips for somebody looking to go to Japan?
Oh gosh. I would say like. Gosh, 2 big tips for someone
like
going to
preparing to go, figuring out what to do, like anything like that. Obviously, ChatGPT helped.
Yeah, ChatGPT helps some. I would say like learn a lot about like try to learn some of like their customs, especially with like transit and stuff like that. I think like get your mind in their mindset, and this is one thing like I just absolutely love about Japan, and I wish we would embrace some of this mentality, and it's often a struggle for me because I try to live by this and a lot of people don't. Everyone in Japan is very thoughtful of how their actions impact others. So like if you're on the metro line, very few people talk on the metro line. They wear their backpacks in front of them. That way they don't bump into people because they can't see the backpack behind them. Just like different things like that. Like I was in Hiroshima on the streetcar, and there were like some foreigners like acting like they're doing like pull-ups and stuff on the bars in the streetcar, and it was just like it's just like kind of disrespectful. So I would just say like try to remember that is kind of like their mentality. Like and other than that, I would say like people there are very friendly and polite, and everybody is more than willing to help you. You know, a lot of people help me with, you know, questions I had along the way. So like, don't be afraid to ask, even if they don't speak the language. They'll, you know, often like do whatever they can to help you. And one thing I just wanted to mention that was just like not really like advice, but just like, well, I guess this is some advice, is don't like, you know, keep your trash with you. One thing that is so impressive about especially Tokyo, but like Japan in general, but like Tokyo, you've got, you know, 40 million people in the Tokyo area. You have 4 million vending machines. They have more vending machines than there are people in LA, and there are like no public trash cans. Like even in the bathrooms, no trash cans. There's no litter. People take their trash with them. They throw it away in the convenience store. They'll take it home and throw it away.
God.
Like people care about like litter, and about like, you know, nobody, you know, wants to live in that. And it was just one thing that really impressed me. Like here, we're tripping over trash cans and people were throwing stuff on the ground. There, you know, if anybody
watch
had
people just throw wrappers on the ground, you
Right.
know, like it's crazy.
And if anybody has an excuse to litter, you would think it would be the people with 4 million vending machines and no trash cans.
Yeah, that's a lot of wrappers.
In fact, there was one point, one point I was like one of the few times in my life I was just like, I want to throw this somewhere, because I had gotten a Starbucks thing and I forgot, and I like took it with me. It was like a disposable, and like anything lid, you know, I just throw it in my bag. But you know, there's always that one little drip, and as soon as you throw it in there, that it'll somehow find a way onto your clothes or whatever. So like I wanted to throw it away. I even went into like the 7-Eleven in the train station. There was no trash can there either. I'm like, what am I gonna do? So eventually I like turned my luggage into like a little cup holder and with the zippers, and that's how I got through the fare gate, because that was all I needed to do was get through the fare gate.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I need to do something with it. I just want to throw this cup, because I was so agitated.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's been. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
It looked like a really cool experience. I'm hoping to get there. I want to get to the Tokyo Dome myself, and Kurigan Hall, and check out the steakhouse. You know, because guys go over and they come back with the oh god, what's the name of
Wagyu
the
steak?
No. There's what's the Japanese steakhouse wrestlers go to, but they the Ribeiro.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, the Ribeiro jacket.
Oh, that's cool.
And like it's like a rite of passage for the wrestlers to like go there. You go to the steakhouse. It's got all the memorabilia from all this stuff, like Inoki and all that kind of stuff. So that's like my kind of like do that, and love to go to do Arena Mexico, but like definitely Japan first. It's kind of, you know.
Well, I mean, it's not as expensive as you'd think. I had 12 nights, under $600 lodging.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, I stayed at a lot of capsule hotels and stuff. So if you're willing to, you know, do things more, you know, and if you're willing to not live in luxury, you can.
I'd say those are small rooms, right? Or
capsules is literally like a tube, like. Like there is no room. Like there was somebody above me. It's basically like bunk beds. Like it's like a hostel, except you have more privacy because you're surrounded on all sides and there's a screen you can pull down. So it really wasn't that bad. I mean, the capsules were nicer than some of the other places I stayed. So I mean, they were nice. They all had bathhouses too, which was nice. So they were not bad places to stay.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you for the insight on that. Where can people, what you want to plug? Where can people see more of your trip, and what else you want to put out there?
To see more of my trip, I mean, follow me on Instagram, bcraw, BCRAW11A is my Instagram. That's where you can see more on the trip. But like, also, you know, if you just want to find stuff to do locally, I'll just plug, you know, the newpittsburghexposition.org. If you go there, we have a giant directory of, you know, more than 400 museums, galleries, and historic sites that you can discover in Pittsburgh. So you don't even have to go to Japan to find new things to do.
There you go. Oh, then there's the image. I was looking on your Facebook. That's where I saw most of the stuff over the last few weeks. So there you go. You can check out all those pictures there, and a lot of stuff that we had there. We didn't even get into the reverse monorail.
That was so cool.
That looks crazy.
And if you go to check that out, that's an area like it's right outside Tokyo, but like I didn't meet anybody there that spoke English.
Amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Katie, you are katiedudas.com.
Yes, look at this. The mic is back up.
The mic is, there you go.
Hi,
There you go.
Albright.
You'll be hanging with us at the AI and Robotics Demo Day tomorrow.
Yeah, I will be.
Yes. And then we're going to see if we can find your brother who's going to be around.
How embarrassing can I be?
How? Oh. Are you going to keep texting him like, where you at? Where you at?
Yeah,
Where you at? Come to the roof.
Yeah. Come to the roof.
Come
on
to
the roof.
Come to
Find
the
me.
roof. Come to the roof. Come and find me on the roof. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited. You know, again, we did a walkthrough of these guys today, and I think it's gonna be really cool for them to do their presentation and have that stuff streaming. So I get to hang around with drones all day.
That will be
So
cool.
and Missy gets to see all the. I don't know if she's as interested as I am in it, but she gets to see all the talks on the main stage and.
Nice.
And there's like a whole other, like you said, a whole other conference happening with a bunch of bigwigs and everything like that. That's probably something none of us can afford. That's why everything downstairs is free,
Yes.
by the way. So yeah, hope to see some of you guys there. I'll be around, and Missy will be around, and Katie will be around, and we're gonna have some fun with that. So thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week, same awesome time. And thank you, Chachi, for the awesome minute as well. And send us some love over. God, I don't even remember which social medias he's on anymore. He kind of deprecated some of them. But thank you guys so much. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.